tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh yeah, hello AfterBuzzers, we are here for another Shark Tank after show. If you guys see the button right below, somewhere around here, there should be a button. Subscribe, youtube.com, #AfterBuzzTV. Please subscribe, like us, leave comments. You can also find us on SoundCloud and iTunes. We love bringing you the show. We want to know what you want more of, what you want less of. You know, all the good, the bad, the ugly, more Phil. I don't think we can get any more Phil. You get a little hairy beard tonight, you good? Yep. Also, you guys can hashtag us at ABTV Shark Tank, and we will read those and comment. You guys can follow me and tweet me at IAMSTEFZ. I will respond to you as well. And Phil is here with me tonight.
Last episode that we did together, I gotta say, went really fantastic. I hope we can live up to the standard we set.
Oh, yeah, easy. I don't know. Some of these products tonight were a little bunk, but let's see what we can do. Let's start it off here with the Be Sweet lemonade.
You know what? See, part of it last time there was just you could go hard on some of these products, and I can go hard on some of the later products. But this one was a good product. I mean, this girl, more than half her life, has been in the lemonade business.
I'm with you, man. And you know what's funny? The first thing that stood out to me, and I know I come from like design background, the label, I would buy that lemonade just by the way that it looked. And I'm a lemonade drinker. And then on top of the fact that maybe it's better for me and has less sugar, maybe it has flax or whatever.
Flaxseed.
Whatever that is that I don't know, I was sold because it looks good. Mm-hmm. It looks delicious. And yeah, I mean, 9-year-old Michaela, she kind of, I'd have to say that was one of the better pitches. There's sometimes bad pitches, and she was a good pitch at 9.
We've seen bad pitches at 40, 50, 30, whatever.
Yeah, and so she started making lemonade. She's had, you know, all this kind of stuff. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about a $3 lemonade? I think that's kind of average. I don't know. Do we just live in Southern California and everything's expensive?
Probably.
Because that didn't seem like how Mr. Wonderful made that stand out. I didn't think that was such a big...
Yeah, maybe if I'm buying like a standalone Brisk, which is like the world's worst... Well, I guess that's a tea.
Brisk is iced tea, yeah.
That's it.
You think it's the world's worst?
No, I'm just... Well,
okay, so I recently have quit, but I used to be an Arizona iced tea addict. I would drink a crap ton of it. They have that big, tall, like 16, 18-ounce can for 99 cents.
That's what I'm saying. So that's, you know.
But this is in a nice glass bottle with this top, and there's probably some, like, sweet message underneath the lid. I don't know. I'm a sucker for packaging. I think I'd buy it.
Yeah, I mean, $3 can be, you know, I'm sure you're not going to see it at your local 7-Eleven gas station where, you know, you have those products and you're on the go, so you're going to be like, okay, let me pay $1 for a drink.
Right.
This is definitely more your Trader Joe's, maybe Whole Foods, that type of stuff.
Well, that's where she said she was in, right? I think she said she was in like a handful of Whole Foods. They sold only $25,000, but still, it's like...
I just don't think they have a mass production yet.
They don't have the mass production. They don't have the time. She's 9 years old. She's in school. I love that Mr. Wonderful told her to drop out of school. I thought that was hilarious. I kind of thought it was hilarious. And I almost thought it was hilarious that they kind of maybe took her seriously for a second. Mm-hmm. I mean, him seriously. But yeah, I feel like, you know, in the Whole Foods, and the fact that it had 4 flavors, I don't know of a lemonade that I've seen that has 4 flavors. You think of even all the big ones, like the Simply Lemonade or whatever, they have like lemonade and raspberry lemonade. Paul Newman's has lemonade and Arnold Palmer. Like, there's not, I don't know, 4. That seems like a good variety of delicious beverage.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, it's one of those things where I don't think it needed an investment from the Sharks to take it. It's one of those things they themselves can make money on it, you know,
Right.
and she can help certainly raise her college fund off of this.
Right.
But it would have been nice to just. I think she needed a mentor more than a partner. And that's where, like, you know, what Damon did with the bow tie.
Yes.
You know, and that I think someone should just kind of stepped up in that respect if a deal wasn't going to be in place and just said, hey, you know what, I'm going to just, here's my number.
Yeah, and I feel like they all kind of were saying that. There was most of the Sharks were saying, you know, come back, and they were giving her nice reasons. You know, it was like, come back, Miss Wonderful. I want a CEO full time. You know, Robert's like, it's a difficult market. Like, they were being honest, but they were being nice to her. You know, Mark said she's amazing. Lori said she's a hero, but then she did. She got an offer from Damon. Damon offered her the $60,000 for 25%, which is kind of super realistic, but it was like contingent that he could get his C partners, the convenience store guys, to place this in stores, which made sense that he needed more of a percentage because he was then going to have to, like, pretty much he's going to be the middleman. He's going to make a percentage just for connecting these two together, really. And they said yes, so she got a deal. I mean, maybe it wasn't the sweetest deal, but it was a deal, and it was a good deal for them. And partnering with Damon, he does have that, you know, like you said with the bow ties, he wants to give that, he wants to teach more than anything. And I feel like he was like, I want to teach her, and I like these guys.
Do you think she wanted him as, like, I feel like that, for her, that was the perfect partner that she was going for. Either that or Lori, but I'm going to have to pull the black card out and say I think she had a connection with Damon.
Just because he was black? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
I don't
know because I didn't feel that quite connect. I feel like it was going to be Damon or Lori, and I don't think she had the same connection to Lori.
Like, I feel like sometimes that happens. Like, I feel like sometimes women come in the tank and want Barbara or Lori. Like, I'm not saying that your point is totally off, but I feel like Damon, regardless, has that soft spot for kids. So I feel like that's kind of fell into him doing this. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe you're right. I don't know. But I feel
I'm
like,
just saying.
like
I think
it
that
didn't
it
occur to me
didn't
that
help.
way.
Or
Yeah.
it didn't hurt.
No. And I feel like, you know, what they were saying is they needed to get 2,700 bottles in order to make the cost lower.
It doesn't seem like a lot.
No, it doesn't seem like a lot at all. That seems like a very attainable goal. So I feel like they're going to wind up getting the cost lower. If they can reduce the cost by 50 cents, they could probably reduce the cost, the retail cost by at least 25 cents. So that $2.75 to $3 will be like $2.50, which I kind of think makes a difference because then with tax it's under $3. It's not like you got to break $4 and then you put the change somewhere and it gets lost and whatever. I don't know. Some numbers just sound better.
They do. That's why they say 99 cents.
99. So it's not free 99. It's $2.99.
$2.99.
Anything else about the lemonade before we move on to our next?
I just have to say, you know, I know I was kind of half joking with the black card and things like that, and I might take some heat for that. I understand. However,
I don't think you should take heat. It's a perfectly
fair enough.
good observation.
But in terms of Lori, was it the world's biggest cop out that she couldn't taste the lemonade because she's allergic?
Oh my god.
It seemed a little bit like, okay, I understand this might be a thing, but don't let that be a reason. I understand because in the past, it's fitting with her past of she has to understand the product, she has to like the product, and if she can't even taste the product, then how could she get behind the product? But it's like, this is a little girl. Can you have, you know, I'm sure you can see beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see both sides of that. Like, I totally see what you're saying, but in the same sense, if you're just being business about it, you know, like, I'm allergic to beer. I would never invest time, money, energy in, like, a few of my friends brew beer. I have no interest because you can't taste the end product. You can't get behind it. You don't want to be around it. Like, who knows?
You know what I can taste?
I thought it was a little bit money. I know.
I love the taste of money.
I'm
I eat
sure
money
you
for breakfast,
do.
dinner, and lunch.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes
in that
supper.
order.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, let's if you guys out there need Phil to give you an investment, just call him because apparently he eats.
No, that's why I have no money
Lunch.
because I eat money.
Oh right.
Yeah, it takes a lot of money to keep me hungry. Or
Right.
fed.
Okay, anything else before we move on from Bee Sweet Lemonade? I want some. If I see it, I'm going to try it. I'm a fan. And you know, it is kind of cool. I like that, you know, since we've been covering this show for a few seasons, we do see the products out in the market space. And it's funny, you know, I don't know if you guys out there, the viewers, know that they're actually making a store for the Cousins Maine Lobster here in Los Angeles. So I got to see the storefront the other day, and it's kind of really fun to see.
It's up and running?
No, it's coming soon.
It's coming
on
soon.
Santa Monica Boulevard. But I did see one of the trucks out at a festival that I was at. So it's really cool to see these products, you know, come to fruition. So,
Yeah.
all right. So let's move on to brand yourself.
I've heard they talked a lot about the competitors. I've heard, you know, the advertisements for the competitors.
I don't even know who the competitors are.
I forget the names.
I haven't heard of them.
It's just one of those. It's really tough because it is a good idea. It is a good product, but I don't know how to weigh the legitimacy of this versus that, and therefore I think they're all scams. You know, they could all not be scams. I don't know, but it just seems hard to decipher, and I hate that. I hate a product that I can't tell what's better.
Right. I mean, trial and error, I guess. But yeah, so let's take a step back from that. So this brand yourself, what it does is it helps you control your image on the web. The fact that we live in a day and age where this exists sometimes befuddles me, but it does. And it's actually true because if you...
Have you Googled yourself?
I have. And it's very funny because one of my friends, and I'm sure you're going to Google me now. One of my friends, I don't know what comes up now, but for a very long time, one of my good friends is a pretty well-known actress, and there was lots of stories online. But anyway, are you Googling me right now? Mm-hmm. Okay. But yeah, I think that, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bit deluded, and maybe it's because I'm not the type of person that wants a corporate quote unquote job. You know, that I've been an entrepreneur, I've created businesses, so I'm not so worried. I don't know if it's that I'm not so worried about what the internet says, or I don't know that I don't care. Or, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know that I would ever spend time going through everything on here being like, positive, irrelevant, unwanted, positive, irrelevant, unwanted. Like, would you do this? Would you actually do this? Like, do you think it's important how some random person might Google you? And
it's not some random person. If you're someone who...
That's what I'm saying. But if you're someone like me that's probably not going to go get like a 9-to-5 corporate job, who cares?
Okay, well, you're the exception.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying in that, yes, exception, but not exception, you care? Like, people out there, do you people care? Like, if I was an employer, I don't know that, like the example you used, if this guy was super qualified and I went and saw his Instagram and I had a picture of him with a hula hoop, I mean, as long as he shows up and does his job, who cares if he like goes to Burning Man and plays in a hula hoop on his off time? I've never judged my employees by that.
But too many other people do.
Right, and I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that's good. Like, that's something for this.
Then why don't you get like a Men in Black neuralizer and just neuralize everyone?
But
to
what
not
I'm saying
have to
is something. The fact that something like this exists is somehow saying that there's validity to what happens online, which we all know there's really not. You know what I mean? Like, you can't read everything you see online. Really? Do people do that? They do, don't they?
The point is, yes, they do.
That's just very frightening to me. I mean, people pay $5,000 concierge. Like, who needs a concierge? Like a celebrity? Is that what they mean? Like by a concierge?
Could be a CEO.
It's just like Ray Donovan style. Clean up messes. I mean,
here's the thing: if you're Suge Knight, right? Whatever.
Suge Knight?
Suge Knight. You know, you could use this. I mean, he might have to have like the platinum package, but he could be using this right now.
For what? You think some brand yourself website is gonna get Suge Knight out of his $25 million bail collapsing in court situation? Come on.
And I didn't say that, but I think
I don't make the connection.
if Suge Knight, you know, it would probably cost at least $1 million, but we can clean up some of this news on Google for.
I don't know, man.
It's gonna take a lot.
I just feel like, you know, nowadays social media and online, like the interweb, is such a place where any employer or anyone with intelligence should know that it's such a platform that anyone has the right to say anything they want about somebody. So you have to judge people on what they tell you, and not only that, you have to meet these people and make your own assessment. You know what I mean? Like, someone online could be like, Phil is, you know, you could be going in for a job that you're underqualified, but someone online could say something that makes you feel, you know what I mean? Like, it could go both ways.
I understand that, but you have to realize ultimately what's put out there is what sticks. Remember Duke? You're a sports fanatic.
The lacrosse.
Yeah, and what do you remember about the Duke lacrosse team?
That they sexually assaulted women.
And did you know that that wasn't apparently the case?
Well, I mean, they probably just didn't get in trouble for it. That's what I mean, that's a
So you don't
sticky
even
one.
know the full story, but all we know is that the Duke lacrosse team that sexually assaulted women. Well, now whether or not, again, it could be untrue, it could still be true, who knows? But all you just know them by that.
I know a little bit more than that, but yes, I
But the
mean
common
that is
person, the
honestly
common
why
man-
lacrosse is big now, because of that situation. Lacrosse was just like an East Coast, but this is such a tangent. But anyway, yeah.
But you also make it sound like it's a good thing. That is not a good thing.
No, I mean, lacrosse is a great sport. I mean, any press is good press.
Not the cost of
I'm just kidding.
sexual assault.
No, I don't mean that. I'm just saying, I don't mean that I'm happy that people got assaulted. I'm just saying that, you know, people don't know the sport. Anyway, I feel like we each dug ourselves a hole tonight, so let's just crawl back out of that and talk about the $15 million valuation.
You need to rebrand yourself, because right now, what you just put out.
See, but I'm not worried about it, because the viewers out there have listened and know enough that they don't think that I'm someone that would actually think that any kind of sexual assault would be good. So
Do they?
No.
Let us know in the comments below if you
jeez.
think Stef Z.
You're opening crazy. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, apparently, like you've said, like the Shark said, there's other products out there that do this. I had no idea, again, because I would never think that this is something that I would need. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe one day I'm going to care. But, I mean, you Googled me. What happened? My clothing line comes up?
A bunch of your Instagrams. There's I Googled your full name. Yeah, there's a bunch of older women that are named Stef Z, Stephanie Z. There was LinkedIn profile, stuff like that. Anyway, $2 million.
Yeah, man. For you know, I hate these like 13.5%. Like, really? Really?
Just go 15.
Just go 15 or 10.
Or stay at 15.
Well, 15, because they're going to negotiate you down to 10. And then you're both happy. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like, you know, there was a lot of, you know, Damon didn't know enough about it. He kind of went out. Lori was, you know, he said that he was a hustler. But you're gonna have to spend millions and more dollars. Like, this other company, do they spend? I wish I knew it or had seen it, because I feel like, I mean, I just watched the show.
Here's the irony. There are competitors. They spend tons of advertising dollars.
And neither one of us know.
For the millions of dollars that they do, because trust me, I hear them all the time. I don't actually know their names.
So they're clearly not spending their branding dollars appropriately.
But, you know, they're out there, so...
Or effectively is probably a better word.
Yeah.
And Mark, you know, I was curious to see, of course, when we have, you know, pitches like this, I'm always curious to see what Mark and Robert are going to say. Robert, who's in security. And he kind of gave him an offer. And it was $2 million for 25%.
That was Robert.
Robert gave him an offer, yeah. Oh, did I say
okay,
Mark?
well, I thought you were still on Mark.
No. Well, Mark, we can go back to Mark. Mark was just talking about that it is going to be important to shrink the digital footprint. And I don't understand, like, just sift away the bad stuff written about people. I don't know, man. I don't like this, like, trying to even the playing field and give everybody a voice, but then you can, like, delete what people say about you. It's like,
it's not. Here's the thing. Ultimately, it's not deleting it. It's just what it's saying what is relevant and what is not.
But who, like,
and
says
so,
who? Like, you know, like what I think relevant about myself, you know, like for people that watch this show, what they could think is relevant about me is that I owned a big company. I had all these employees, you know, what I've done in business world. What you think is relevant of me could be like, am I good for addition to your soccer team? What someone else thinks relevant as me is, what did I get on my IQ test? You know what I mean? Like, you're how do you know who's looking at your thing at what time? So what could be relevant, or is it just what you think is relevant for you? But that's probably not how the outside world wants to see you, or is trying to figure out you anyway. Who cares?
Okay, but take it even from a base perspective, right, Stef? See,
right, Phil Svitek.
You have your website, you have your reel, it's great, and all these things. Now, let's say that it gets commonly confused with another Stephanie. Is now when I Google you and I want to go to your website, your actual website is buried 40 pages deep, and this website is one of the top ones that comes up. Ooh, here's Steph C. And then I click on that, and you know, let's say for the most part things look similar. You don't really have a photo there and things like that. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, this website isn't that good. This is the Steph C that I met. Well, it's just
that's why you have business cards. I mean, who, like, I don't think some random person is just going to be online and be like, let me go to imstefz.com and see what's there. Like, they've had to hear you or meet you or hear one of these shows, and then we spell out where to find us. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean,
people, viewers out there,
I don't know how to convince you that
wrong.
This is a real need. I just don't.
It's not a need in my world. Maybe it is. Maybe I should Google myself more and see that there's crap written about me. I don't know.
I'm just saying there's a real need, whether you want to believe it or not.
I want to Google you.
Google me.
No, I'm not going to Google you.
Please do.
Well, pretty much there was no deal here. I mean,
he didn't want to go. Part of it, you know, he raised money, and so the reason, you know, he raised $3 million already at this valuation, right? And
yeah, he wanted 5 total, and he left 2 for the Sharks.
Yeah, he left 2 for the Sharks at that same. So, but you got to know that you got to have some wiggle room.
You got to have some wiggle rooms, right?
And I don't know. I feel like, and he went out. He said, you know, I might have made a mistake and things like that. And I think, had he just been wiggled to 20 and just countered at 20, I think he could have gotten something.
Yeah, I think if there wouldn't have been all the talk and you know,
I think had he just been like, hey, Robert, please, can we just do this at 20 and it's a deal? Right.
Yeah, but as soon as he heard 25, he was like, whoa, shoo, ha, whoa. He heed and hawed and hoed rather than just be like, okay, Robert, I would love to deal with you, but that's a little bit too much equity. How about up 20%? Like,
would you be willing to? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something like that right away. All right. Anything else about brand yourself? I don't know. Maybe I should try it.
Just give it a whirl. I mean,
I just couldn't. Like, I'm the girl that like I still haven't updated my cell phone from the last update. Like, I'm just not. It's like it's hard enough that I tweet a lot. I try and tweet and like schedule tweets. Like, that's a big step for me.
Excellent, Steph C.
All right. Anything else before we move on to...
Well, Steph C's living in 1990.
You know what? And I am happy there. I interact with the people that interact with me, and I'm happy. All right. Let's move on to James and Brooke.
I see
pooch. I can't, dude, with this one.
It's a nice idea in theory.
It's a dog Skyping Pez. Hashtag dog Skyping Pez.
This was, the execution side of this was atrocious.
Well, let's talk about Brooke first, number one. 14 years old? I thought she was like 25.
She did look like she was 25.
I was like, when she said 14, I almost fell over. I was like, excuse me?
Part of it was she had matured in the right...
You are digging. Go ahead.
She seemed mature. More than 14. That's what I'm going to go with. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, Phil. Yeah, I thought she was
I will
definitely...
be incriminated one day for these things.
Yeah, it's going to be when you Google you. It's going to show this clip tonight. I didn't think she was 14 years old. Okay, so let's get this straight. They expect you to, number one, have an extra iPad that you can hook up to this contraption.
Number one, I don't even have one.
Right. Number two, they expect you to have treats in this thing and your dog not to destroy it, knowing that that's where the treats are. Number three, have your dog actually communicate with you on this iPad. It's a little far-fetched for me. It was the beginning of something, but I'd have to say I kind of agree with Mr. Wonderful. Like, I like when I come home and my dog gets all excited, like, that I'm there. I mean, I get that dogs have no concept of time, so they forget. So if you talk to them on the Skype and then you get home a half an hour later, they'll probably still be excited. Excuse me, but I don't know. You have dogs too. Would you ever in your wildest dreams pay $150 for this thing?
I don't. Here's the thing. It's a nice little additive that if I'm out and there truly can be no one to see them. But I feel like I would use this more if literally someone else was taking care of the dogs. But if someone else was taking care of the dogs, I would just Skype and see the dogs. I don't feel... one of the things that they cited was destructive behavior, right? And I don't feel like this is going to cure destructive behavior. Because literally, I don't think it's going to cure destructive. And I actually agree with Mr. Wonderful that they might pee on this because it looks like fire. I could care less about whether or not they pee.
They pee on your iPad? I think you'd be pissed.
I would have to have an iPad, so... Anyway, but the point is, I have... German Shepherds are very... they suffer hugely from separation anxiety. I had a German Shepherd, and the only thing that really cures separation anxiety was just time and training and things like that, right? But for the most part, from the day that I kind of got my German Shepherd, I could be gone for 15 minutes. I could be gone for 30 minutes. It didn't make a difference because as soon as I left that door, separation anxiety hit. And the walls and the windows were destroyed. They were smashed up. All that.
Oh, yeah. See, I've never experienced
And so unless I'm going to literally be on the Skype thing for the whole time and the dog understands that that's me, no, my house is getting destroyed.
And I wonder, I mean, have you ever seen a dog? I'm sure you have seen a dog look in the mirror. Like, I don't even think that they understand that it's them sometimes.
They don't.
So,
sometimes.
You know what I mean? So for them, I mean, I get that they know your voice. And like, I can go home and I can just walk in the door and I won't see my dog, but I can call for my dog and the dog will come. So I get that they understand the voice.
But there's a smell to it.
There's a lot of other stuff. There's other noise. There's other movement. Like, I don't know if, the dog was in the room by himself and all of a sudden there was just like a recording of me playing. I don't know if the dog would just be like, I think it's like the TV, like, doo-doo-doo, what's happening?
Here's the thing. Apparently it's tested and things like that, so there's some validity to it.
But it's tested with trained dogs.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to give it to some average Joe and just have at it. But Mark made what? Why are you laughing?
Mr. Wonderful said, "I hate this very much."
He did. Mark had a good point about the extra iPad and things like that. So I feel like she has a lot more in her. Maybe this can grow to be something better, but it just wasn't. I give James credit for being full-time on this, not taking a cut, having worked on ASUS, but I'm sorry, dude. It's too early. It's not right.
Not even that. It's like I feel like this would have presented itself better if it was like, a baby monitor, a dog monitor, baby monitor, so that you could. It was like its own little like walkie-talkie or something, so that you could see the dog and the dog could see you. So you didn't have to like, Skype it, or it had its own viewing box. It was its own entity. I feel like having to have an extra iPad again is a killer on this, and I also feel like it should all be encompassed so it can't get wrecked. I do like that. You could. think that it's over the food bowl and the water. You can have like self-feeding water. Like there is something in this idea. I just don't think that it's executed that well in the icy pooch. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I see poo.
I see poo-poo. All right, anything else before we move on?
That's it. I mean, I feel bad for the, you know, she did a wonderful pitch. She did. It just wasn't a good product.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good idea. The product, I think, could be better.
And, you know, they had the Bed Bath & Beyond. And I like that they're doing a section for pet technology.
Right.
But they didn't have the purchase order figured out yet. So
yeah,
they had a solid number there. Maybe it could have swayed some people, but
right. All right, so now we move on to Ryan and his Home Tea T-shirt company.
First and foremost, was this guy after a deal or no deal? This is the biggest debate of the century.
The biggest debate? I don't know. I mean, I feel like you kind of need to be there and see his energy. I don't know. I feel like maybe we can tell when people are just gold diggers. But the fact that Mark was so adamant in thinking he was not a gold digger, I tend to trust Mark's judgment. I don't know. I feel like as soon as he walked in, Damon didn't like him.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
No? You think he was a gold digger? You think he was there just for the PR?
I mean,
clearly he has a lot of PR. He's doing all his own marketing. He has to give up the 6% or whatever for the show. So I don't know.
But it was a sleight of hand, even when he said, like, you know, I'm willing to negotiate the percentage. And then with Lori, he was like, all right, let's do 400 for 20%. It's like, whoa. We're adjusting the percentage, not the money that I'm supposed to give you.
Yeah.
What the heck, dude?
Well, he did. He lowered the valuation
a smidge, but got more money.
Yeah.
So don't tell me.
I mean, I don't know. Well, let's first talk about. I think this is a really good product, but I have to agree, and this is, you know, some of the space that I know with T-shirts is. I get selling online, but that's going to get old once the customer has 1, 2, and to have the same designs for 12 months. When I sold to like Saks and Neiman's and Bloomies, like you had to, every month they got different stuff. You're not going to build a customer by having the same. I like the product, don't get me wrong. I might actually buy or just make my own T-shirt, and that's the easy thing. I could literally go right now and make my own New York shirt in 30 seconds. There's nothing super intense about this design that makes it, you know, you see it and it's branded and you would know, but there's nothing that why anyone couldn't copy this design, like Damon was saying. And you're not protected. As much as people say copyright design, this, that, and the other thing, it's not necessarily the way it is.
Just change it up, and
you don't even really have to, because it's such a pain. One of my T-shirts, H&M stole one of my pictures and put it on their shirt. Like, what can you do? I mean, there's nothing really much.
Part of it too, you know, he's saying, you know, eventually we'll get color and things like that. The problem certainly right now is,
but color doesn't change the design.
I know it doesn't. But right now, one of the biggest problems you're going to face is if I buy a Massachusetts or Connecticut shirt, or I could buy California, it doesn't matter to me. But on a good day, let's say I bought all three. I've just bought 3 shirts. But if you don't have a different design for that, how many California shirts am I going to really buy that are gray? So at least the color switches it up.
But not even that. It's borderline touristy for me.
I mean, it is touristy.
Like, how many shirts do you wear right now that say Encino, California? None.
I actually did buy one.
Oh, of course
I bought one. If you go to the local CVS's, they have local shirts. And in Los Angeles, I bought a Glendale shirt. It's one of those things. I've bought, you know, any of the fun ones.
Right, and they're probably $10.
Yeah, they're really cheap.
So for $30, you're telling me you're going to invest $100 on 3 shirts that say home on them? I don't think you are.
No, certainly.
I wouldn't.
A shirt like that better cost me $12 at most.
I mean, I like the bag.
This better be a Target shirt.
Yeah, I like the bag. I like the wallet or whatever they had.
But that was selling for less than 10% of their sales.
Right? So everyone, this is a cool thing. It's like a hot T-shirt. He got a couple of celebrities in it. Once that dies down, I don't think this guy has the designer background to grow this brand. I think he has marketing. He had an idea. He had marketing background. And he got lucky. I mean, I wish him the best. I like the designs. I like the concept. I just don't know that.
I feel like
you have to be
there's certain quote unquote, and this is a product, right? But I'm going to call it a business. There's certain businesses that you just let them run its course,
right?
And so right now this is on a wave. Eventually, as they said, you will hit a low. And you know what? In this regard, just hit that low, get out of the business. You owe nobody money. You made 540 thousand in revenue. Just do that for hopefully another year. If you can get 3 out of it, great. And move on.
Yeah, call it a day.
That's it.
No, I got
That's a victory in my book.
It's total victory, and it's cool, and because it is. And Damon said it well. All the companies that make the I Heart New York shirts, these are going to be at every airport. Every airport's going to have these soon, and he doesn't have that mentality to say that's where I should go. I should hit airports. I should do this. Because how many people would want to buy a New York shirt for home? How many people own an I Love New York shirt and don't live there? I feel like that's another way to, I don't even want to say all my ideas, but okay. Anything else? So he actually did not get a deal. Robert offered him $250K for 35%. Lori offered him $250K for 30%. And then Damon offered him, who was very adamant that he was a gold digger, offered him $250,000 for 20% after he already had turned around to walk away, and he still said no. But I kind of agree with him. If my company if we did $1.1 million in sales in our first year out, and someone was offering me less than that to be a partner, I don't know that I would say yes, but I come from the clothing background. This guy doesn't seem to know much about the clothing background, so partnering with Damon and maybe getting...
But Damon could he has the facilities, he can integrate it with his other brands.
Right, and he could do licensing, he could do bigger things. I thought that was a very smart... I thought he should have took the deal if he wanted to grow a business. If he wants to get some money and get out, then
yeah,
no.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Right now we're just thinking of home.
Right.
But imagine, like, Thor's home.
Imagine Thor's home.
You know what I mean? Now we're licensing.
Yeah.
That's Marvel, baby.
That is. That's
Gotham. That's DC for you.
Look at you. I had that license. It was a fun ride. Okay, so anything else about Home Tea before we move on to our update of the week?
Home Tea. It was a great, ride it out, man. Just ride it out.
Yeah, ride away. But I like the guy. I kind of felt bad for him at the end a little bit.
Gold digger. That's all I'm gonna say.
He's not. He's like a silver digger.
I ain't saying you a gold digger, but you ain't messing with no broke.
Oh man. All right. So let's talk about Barbara's retreat.
I love Barbara. She had one.
Her.
She had one at the beach. Now she got one in Utah. And I'm sure she's been doing these for years, so it's not like, she just came up with it. But in terms of what we were seeing on the show, and I love doing these types of things. And I do believe that there's such a great learning aspect to it.
I believe it too. I wish, when I started my company, my first company, I was young, 25, 26 years old, and you don't know. And the crazy thing also is, you have all these friends that see that you're doing these things and you're traveling the world, but they don't understand that you're the company. So they're like, oh, let's go do this, let's go do that. And it's like, I can't, I have to work. And they're like, yeah, but it's your company, can't you? And they just didn't understand the mentality. And then because you have a successful business, you almost feel bad to vent about the problems of the business because everyone's just like, you own your own business, you can do what you want. So to be able to have a support group to do this, to actually talk about these things with, I feel like, God, I wish I would have had that. I feel like it's such an amazing idea. And, the one that, we also say how this is such a great idea for Barbara, and she's such a loving person, but she's also a businesswoman. All this does is help all our businesses at once.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had Cousin's Maine Lobster, Grace Lace, Pip Snacks, Cerebral Success, Millie Custom Rise. Do you know what that is? Really custom pies. I don't know if I wrote that one down right. Ryan's Ruffrey and Daisy Cake. So she had 7 of her businesses there. And before Shark Tank, those 7 businesses totaled $2 million in sales. And after, $24 million in sales. Boom. That's a very big write-off is her house in Deer Valley for these retreats. All right. Well, another amazing episode of Shark Tank. Anything else that you want to add to our conversation before we wrap up the show, Philip?
Overall, next week's a repeat, right?
I don't think so.
What they're doing the veterans. We've already seen that.
The Vet Small Business Week. We've seen that already?
Yeah. With the dog, the body armor for the dogs and the various other things. We've seen this.
I know we did a college business week.
No, we did a veterans week.
Okay, well, we'll have to double check. We'll double check. We'll let you guys know if we will be doing a show next week. If it is a repeat, we will not do a show, but we will resume once the next episode comes. Tonight's episode was episode 23, so when episode 24 comes, we will be here chatting about it.
Darn right.
And until then, where can the people find you, Phil?
At AfterBuzz TV.
Oh, yeah. And you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at IAMSTEFZ. Let me know your thoughts, feelings. Keep up the conversation.
Darn right.
Darn right. Have a great night, guys.
Keep inventing.
Yes.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.